Hello and welcome to my witchcraft and spirituality channel. This video can actually put my channel in danger and even my life. So if you see it removed from YouTube and me removed from YouTube, you know that it was because some people didn't want the information out there. I'm not joking. And I decided to make it because I got questions from many people after my recent K-pop videos, and especially from a lady who's a mother of a girl who is a stan of specific groups, and she was asking me if these groups can lead to demon possession. So about a year ago, I was having a lot of internal conflict as a K-pop fan, because on one hand I really enjoyed the music, the visuals, everything that if you are a fan like me, you understand what I'm talking about, that feeling. But on the other hand, there were all of these videos and all of these documentaries and information out there that, oh my god, they're going to steal your soul, oh my god, you're going to be demon possessed, you're going to end up in hell, all of that stuff. And although I'm not an actively practicing Christian, I decided that I need my own answers. I don't like living in fear and in doubt and internal conflict. So I did some tarot readings that, okay, we haven't done tarot readings in the channel, so I'm just going to give you the summary of it. And pretty much the message was find your own information, that what is already out there is not enough. So when this usually happens, when you get a reading that in the close future there is going to be a window to find your own information, you have to pay attention to the signs. And during that time I had a Reddit account, and I was kind of friendly. I'm not going to say friends because I didn't know them well. I was kind of friendly with a girl that she was on the skincare and makeup subreddit, that we had some chats on Reddit, and she told me that she is a practicing demonolator, that she's doing like demon worship. So I was naturally very interested in a way of, like, I wanted to ask her questions and stuff. And she also told me that specific demonolators on Reddit, they have communities like Discord servers mostly, that they discuss demons and K-pop and how to actively do things to support their K-pop idol using black magic. That I'm going to make it clear now, like ever since the beginning of the video, that I don't believe that the idols actually know these people or actively are in contact with them. So whatever happens in this Discord is the personal choice of the people participating. I say this because I don't want to be considered a hater, or that I'm defaming some idol for being like worshipping demons or selling their soul, because I don't know these people personally. I don't know the idols, so I don't know what they're doing. I can analyze the signs with you, but the final conclusion should be yours. So anyway, this girl told me that she's on that Discord, but I cannot be there unless I have an already existing member inviting me, and that they had so much security that the invitation expires in less than a day. So they send you the invite and you get in, and then it immediately expires. And I said, okay, but I'm not committing myself to anything. Like, I'm not going to join you or, you know, participate in what you do. I'm just curious. And she said, that's fine. And when you join this Discord, I made an account and then email separate for that, because I didn't want anyone to one day hack the Discord and get all of my personal information like all over the place. So there are several channels on that Discord, and when you are one of these people that they are new like I was, and you get a new member badge, you are not allowed to participate in most of them. But there are some very active ones that they used to be there, because I'm not part of that Discord anymore, that you could ask questions and you could find like videos or people sharing resources or people discussing what they do. And they had specific members appointed there that what they did was pretty much explain to the new members, and in my opinion kind of trying to convert you into joining them. But as long as it wasn't over like scary or pressuring, I was thinking I'm willing to take my chances and figure out what's going on, like investigative journalism of sorts. So first I went to the commonly asked questions, and the first question was, if you are a K-pop fan, how willing are you to support your idol to actually rise in fame? And that had a lot to do with groups that they are still trainees or they haven't had their debut yet, because these were the people that they needed the most. And to give you the summary of what was happening in this Discord, here's where the scary part begins. Trigger warning, scary, I was scared. What happens is that there are people there that they actively know how to do specific magic rituals in specific times like full moon and so on, and they can direct these rituals towards people who are kind of mild K-pop fans and kind of lost in life. They don't have a religion or something like that, and pretty much do, if you are familiar with voodoo, kind of like sock puppet magic, because voodoo is usually for curses, but if you have someone in your life that you want them to do a specific thing and they are of weak character, you can actually do puppet magic to them and project your own desire about one specific thing to them and make them do it. What does that mean? They would send people from the Discord to K-pop Facebook groups, and these people, especially pretty girls or popular girls, they would befriend other people on the Facebook group, and after they established a friendly relationship with them, what they would do is they would use from subliminal messages or find out their birth chart by asking them their birthday or other stuff. They would gather information of them, and eventually they would do a puppet spell on them, and all of a sudden the person would start becoming very interesting in a very specific group or a very specific member of the group, and they would start spending money on that group, making fan pages to support them, buying tickets to see them, and in extreme cases you would see people either entering prostitution or stealing money from their parents or quitting school to go work to support the group. In my opinion, these people are usually under a puppet spell, and this is very serious because there are specific signs that they looked out for to approach a member. Because if you have been on Facebook K-pop groups, they could have 100,000 members, so who do you approach? Usually they would approach members with low self-esteem because they would like check, investigate, stalk their profiles. People that, as I always say, they don't have a specific religion, so they're much more easily to influence with a spell because they don't have any kind of protection. People who are actually still very naive and they were raised to be very materialistic, and people who are searching for love. I don't say this in a bad way. I even posted a video on how to date a K-pop idol with serious advice, but it's different to say you want love, and it's different to feel like you're deprived and lonely and a love addict, that you have this huge void in your heart. And I've been there. I'm going to make videos about my past stories on how I used to be a love addict and how did this all started from childhood abuse. But if you have these signs, pretty much they would do the spell, and before you know it, and there were some people, that was one of the very scary things, there were people who were actually bragging, and they were saying that look at the before and after, or this person, like I took a picture, a screenshot of their Facebook page when I first started, and then I took one after my spell worked, and they are a super fan now or a stan, so wow, yay me. You're going to ask now, why would someone even bother to be this kind of a strange K-pop fan? Because a lot of these people actually like K-pop and they don't want to spend money, and they have this addiction to power, or many of them were actually practitioners of black magic in general. Like this girl that I met, she told me that her goal is to eventually seduce some very rich man into marrying her, and because you can't do this right away, you have to start smaller. By the way, I don't approve of any of that. I'm just sharing the facts because I want you to be safe. And the other thing that they were also doing were binding spells. That I'm sure that someone tried to do a binding spell on me to keep me on the Discord, but it didn't work because I have my own protective systems that I can detect when a spell is there and just ignore it or cancel it. And when I talk about binding spells, when you see people who seem completely out of place when it comes to K-pop, or the transition to K-pop doesn't make any sense, usually when you are a fan of something, you're a fan throughout your life. Like if you like Korean culture, if you like Japanese culture, it's not something that boom, one day hits you out of nowhere. When you see people that they don't make any effort to learn the language or to learn the culture, and they just start treating the idols like objects or like products or like something to sexually abuse, these people could actually be under a binding spell or a love obsession spell. By saying spell, I don't remove responsibility from anyone, because even if you are under a spell, your willpower is important, you can break it. And also because why are you there to begin with? Like, you haven't done any work on yourself. So I'm not saying this to make people think that, oh, this person is under a spell, so they have no excuse for their actions, like the crazy stalkers who try to kidnap idols or cause a car crash. No, they are responsible. But I'm saying this because if you have someone in your immediate environment that you start thinking that they could be under a puppet spell or a binding spell, and all of a sudden one day they turn crazy over K-pop, or one day they watch a show or something like that, they could be under the influence of these discords with these black magic people. Because I don't know how many of these discords are out there. The one that I joined had thousands of members. So I stayed there for a little while, like a few months, and after that, pretty much I had to be kicked out because there was this thing that in order to advance to a higher level, you had to commit to things that I wasn't comfortable committing. Like, for example, that they wanted me to try doing spells on members, or new members, or to try infiltrating a group and some other stuff that I didn't want to do. So it was pretty much either advance or leave. You couldn't just stay there for like indefinitely. And to be honest, between you and me, I'm fine that I left, because even if you want to do magic to support your idol, you can do light magic, you can wish them for happiness, you can wish them for success. You don't have to go around being this like emotional energy vampire draining others. Emotional vampires are good at having fast results. So now imagine if there are people all over the world doing this who are like everyday people. Can you imagine what can a manager recruit if K-pop managers went professionals and asked them to do that on a massive scale? I don't even want to think about it and go there. It's pretty scary. So what I'm going to tell you is that in order to stay safe and enjoy K-pop, because I'm against living in fear and abandoning the world to live like 2000 years ago in a cave and be afraid of music and be afraid of everything. I don't believe in that kind of fear. It's very important to always have a religion, to always work with yourself. If you have childhood trauma, past life trauma, ongoing abuse, to do the work to overcome them, and to learn as much as you can about magic, because even if you never want to practice it, it's important to immediately see the signs and go to a priest or to a person from your religion that knows how to protect you. That is what's going to protect you. And if you see people around you turning crazy, this is even one more indication that you should pray harder, try harder, and focus on your self-development. All of these things work to people who are open to spiritual attack to begin with.